Let me go a little bit deeper so you could probably get it a bit clearer with what I'm trying to say here. I did just a rough example. I'm hoping you can see this slide very well. And it's comparing road transportation to cable transportation in one location in Dominica. Below here, if you can see at the bottom stage, that's in the Lion Park area. Okay? And up here at the end, it's in an area called Ackley, very productive area. We have a good bit of farmers up here. Now, the distance by road, which is in a very, very bad state. If they fix it in the last few months, boy, I'll be so happy. But when I left it there, I knew it probably didn't get worse. Very, very bad. Takes you 30 to 40 minutes, 2.7 miles roughly, to get there. However, if we had a cable system, that could get you there, well, the distance, because you're not taking all these corners and so on. 1.7 miles, and gets you there in about 8 to 15 minutes. You know the impact of that? To move produce and move people, and you could move your tourists, have a nice, eco village up there that people can come and experience for the day, eat nice, organic, wholesome fruits and feel satisfied. What if we have a few of that across the country? Another aspect which is very important for Dominica is water management. Yes, we have a lot of water, but as the climate forecasters tell us, we can expect to have, based on the impact of climate change, to have more intense weather systems, heavy rainfall, and also drought periods as well. And we see examples of damages to roads and flooding right here in Dominica. So it's something that we need to address. We cannot operate like it's not there. It's something there. We cannot, that's the problem I think that we have. We speak of the issues and so on, and not enough we doing about it. We need to agree we're in a vulnerable country, and we need to take steps to address it. So proper drainage systems, water storage facilities, right, are important. So increasingly we have to consider how we use wetlands and damming systems to control that flood water, so it's not as impactful both on agriculture and residential areas. It is possible. We are on the other side of irrigation that was mentioned earlier too, and we, at the same time, we have an excess rains. We can have not enough, as we experienced sometime a few weeks back. I like to draw on the example in the photo on the top right. That's tracing an irrigation system in the Salisbury area. That's irrigating the Grand Savan area. And these farmers here are very, 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 very interesting and hardworking, and that story is one I hope that comes out. So there's a group of farmers called the Rock Farmers Group, operating for over 30 years. They, with support from an NGO, constructed that system, miles of pipes, that they ran. They have been maintaining it over the years, and supporting agriculture, and also initially for homes in that area. However, juxtapose that with an investment of millions of dollars, where equipment was brought in for over 300 in Casabros and probably just under that in Calibishi. And Calibishi, probably no farmers irrigated. And it happened for a short while in Casabros. All that investments just gone. No accountability, nothing. So, anyway, this is something that we actually need, and we need it more because the effects of climate change is going to be more and more pronounced. That's what we understood, and that's what we are experiencing. So yes, irrigation systems, water harvesting. This photo at the top is some project that was at the Castle Government School where they keep water, and I think the plan is to do aquaculture as well. That is something that we have to consider if our water storage to be multi-purpose and more effective for us. So yes, we have some of the traditional that we collect from homes, but we can do that on a larger scale to support more for our agriculture. Really and truly, I see some farmers operating on the West Coast, doing very good in vegetables, and I can, during the dry time, they have to be trucking water and doing. I think we can do more with regards to addressing our water needs and supporting agriculture in that. Post-harvest facilities, Errol touched on that, and it really goes with the whole policy. When we had a large and successful banana growing sector, these things were in place. Farmers' sheds, reception facilities, you see, the box comes from the farmer's pickup and goes onto the conveyor, right? Onto the pallet, onto the ship. Nothing touches the ground. It's clean, it's wholesome, it's intact, it's the product, ready for the market. Okay? That's the type of infrastructure you need. So we know it's nothing new. However, today, we no longer export bananas in the kind of volumes. And we have reception facilities that look like this on the left. Right? That's the Dexter facility in 2003. And the Portsmouth reception facility, pour this on the ground, in the sun. This one is on the pallet. Okay? Boxes are bulging, and so on. You compare that with what's happening in Martinique, that's way back in 2009, where you have an automated facility. Okay? You probably don't have to go, that's what it is. Automated facility. A robot is actually there doing that. It's not beyond us. The approach is not beyond us. And if we want to move forward, that is some of the approaches we have to take. Research and innovation centers, definitely. I want to highlight in that photo some fallen Dominicans. At the front is Dr. Clayton Schillenford and Dr. Buenadian, right? So we've been producing scientists for a very long time, all right? We need to find ways to use them to work on improving our crop varieties, to develop sustainable farming practices. So we need those research stations. I was happy to hear that the tissue culture lab was constructed in 1 mile. What I want to know is when we're going to have, the program of rolling out that facility in terms of plants and that can support farmers. Another area is in renewable energy. And agriculture, both crop and livestock, is associated with waste. We have from poultry, from pigs, and we have waste. Waste energy is a big business all over the world now. Okay? And these are some of the approaches that we have to consider. We have had biogas digesters here for a while, but have we used them as being done in other places to convert that methane gas that is collected into electricity? That is quite possible. So a poultry farm producing its own electricity can afford during the colder months of the year when the drop in temperatures, the chickens are not laying as much, but then the demand for eggs is high because it's Christmas time and everyone is baking. If you can, supplement your energy requirement to raise the temperature in your facility, you can remain productive. during that time. But if you probably can't afford it on Dominica, but if you're able to get it from a renewable source, then it's all good. The whole issue of building institutional capacity, our farmer groups, our farmer organizations, this is absolutely necessary. So we're into the soft infrastructure. We need to support extension services. Years ago, my colleagues would be attending AKF in Trinidad. I can't remember the last time we had a graduate from AKF. Okay? It's really, really, really shameful. And we need to also have avenues where our trained professionals interact with the younger ones coming up, that we can impart that sort of knowledge, not just the professionals, but also all the farmers to pass on the techniques and so on. We need to have that avenue for that to happen. We need to create that environment for that to happen. So we need, yes, infrastructure with regards to the market. Okay, we need arrangements that for agro-processing facilities and that can support our agriculture. To access to efficient and transparent markets is crucial for farmers to receive fair prices for their products, right? And to access added value opportunities. Production planning was mentioned. Also, public-private partnerships. We need to find ways to make that happen, because it is linked to something I will touch on more, because I think I might be running out of time. The whole issue of import substitution. Okay? Our supermarkets and Dominica as a whole, as you will see, we are importing 80 to 90% of what we are consuming in terms of food, agricultural food products. You see Bello, I'm not sure if you can see this thing there, Bello. No longer produced in Dominica, but this is Bello habanero pepper sauce. Oh, I would like to see a Bello border majak pepper sauce. The world doesn't know that. But that's another story with the border majak, because it's another issue with regards to support services for the sector that we have neglected and we need. The issue of information and communication technology. Sometimes we're scared of the new age, the computer age, but it's here and we have to embrace it. So we have to find ways to leverage the ICT infrastructure that we have. Dominica is the first country in the world to be fully digitized, to have a fully digitized telephone system. Okay, we need to make this thing work for us. Everyone has a cell phone and so on, and there's so much more that we can do. We have a high internet penetration, high cell phone use. So agriculture, market information systems, Errol alluded to that, the use of drones, technology, all this. And I highlight, we need to be paying attention to our data management, that was also highlighted. We need to use that to set our targets. If our our balance between our trade balance between the agri-foods that we import versus what we export, it's horrendous. Okay? As I said, 80 to 90% of our food we import, we are not producing for ourselves. So I'm coming to the close here, and my call is really for decisive action. In terms of the policy and the vision, the goal, the objective, the policy goals and objectives, these things are well written for agriculture. We have very, very good documents. The professionals did their job, or their jobs. cannot consider infrastructure in isolation. As I mentioned, what we need is the demonstrated political will to translate that science, that information that we have, the experience that we have, into action with market-led approaches. We need the research, both the technical, in terms of agriculture and soils and so on, but the market is also important to inform the systems and what we're going to put in place. The policy guidelines should not just be a document, as is happening now. We prepare the policy documents and they're there. No one knows about it. Okay? We have to use it. Everyone from captain down to cook have to be familiar with what is that document, because it is to put in place. It's not just to put, it's not just to have. And that's what we see. We have those things, we have, but it's not just, there's no action. We cannot, and we use the digitization and better information management to track our performance. We have to be able to assess where we are from year to year. And in that way you have accountability right through the system. Right through the system. Because saving that, it's business as usual. And business as usual gets us nowhere. It's not getting us anywhere. So, with this in place, I believe that we can be the fruit basket, the food basket, the bread basket, whatever basket you want to call it. We can be that of the region. I want to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Because of time though, we're going to move on to the other program. We were supposed to have a breakout session right now, but we will defer that a little bit and we will go to Alex. Alex has to leave at a certain time, so we want to facilitate him and have him come on. So Dave, thank you very much. Stay in touch. We may need to bring you back in. We will need to bring you back in, so stay in touch. But let's just move to Alex at the moment. Thank you, Dave.
As soon as Dave stops sharing, I'll go ahead and share and begin my presentation. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Yes? Okay. Thank you. So I was asked to speak about the political economy. And by the time I'm done, in 20 minutes or so, you will have gotten a better understanding of what we are speaking about. I want to thank Dr. Fontaine Thompson before I even get into the discussion, because after several discussions, I must say that he is someone who understands where we should be going and what we should be doing at this juncture as a unified approach to trying to solve problems. So Thompson, thanks for the invite, and to Simeon Joseph, my countryman and friend and brother and family, and everyone who had been behind the scenes organizing to get this forum off the ground. So my topic is reconciling Dominica's political environment with its economic development prospects. And I'm happy that I followed Dave, because he's a dear friend, and when we competed, I beat him once in Calypso. We had a little chat about that before, and then he beat me, and then he beat me again. But that's not water under the bridge. We're talking about something that's very significant for Dominica's future, our success. And it's important that as a team, as people.
Alex, sorry to interrupt you, but can you put it in slideshow mode?
Yeah. All right, better now?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So my topic is there.
But play the slideshow, play the slides.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it, but do it like, if you go back to the original screen, and do this little cup, the little cup below, so you can play it in. Yeah.
This?
No. Go back to the original. No, come on.
Yes.
Come on to this screen. Where you were originally. Right. Now, when you put in your presentation, there is a little cup below the PowerPoint.
There's something below the PowerPoint?
Just play. You're using your PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
So
Can you see the PowerPoint? Is my screen not sharing?
yeah, you see the shape, but it is still the same side that it was previously. We didn't just to have it like it when you're doing a regular slideshow.
Oh.
What is the presentation mode, bro? Slideshow, yeah.
I'm not seeing. I thought I had it there.
No, below. Sorry.
I'm not seeing. I wish I could, but I'm not seeing where I can. Now I'm trying to figure out where we get. What's that?
Press escape, go back to the original.
Okay. Go back to the original.
Right now, come to the bottom. To the right, come to the bottom. Bottom right.
Yeah.
Right there. You see that just before the border, that little icon right there. Right before the border, a small icon, like a pop, like a chance. Just before it. Just before the border. You're not seeing it there. See just go to the left now. You're in the other direction.
This?
Up.
No, I'm not seeing the
Within the PowerPoint, sorry. Within the PowerPoint, right. Within the PowerPoint. Right there. You just look at this one.
Oh, all right. Makes sense. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So I will make up for the time, guys. I promise. Reconciling Dominica's political environment with its economic development prospects. What exactly is this? This is looking at what we have, who we are as a people, and our unique placement. We're not going to speak about the definitions of terms because we all understand that politics is the interaction that we have with each individual on a daily basis, and we know every country, every group, every community, every family is unique in its own way. There are a number of core systems which determine how we live our lives. In Dominica, we have party, electoral, market, economic, governance, political. I mean, there are many other systems you can add to that, but I wanted to focus on these few because that's where I'm going to make the core of my argument. We can talk about the party system, multi-party system, we can talk about the market system, we can talk about the economic system. These are understandable concepts. What do we have? What are the fundamentals of Dominican economy? And what is really the economy? Dr. Fontaine and others will speak to that. But the economy is a system in and of itself, and the fundamentals of the economy would have to be water, scenery, food, sea, sun, culture. Indigenous, and this talks about the people and our ways, including our Kalinago natives, agriculture, nature. So these are fundamentals of the Dominican economy. And as I said, the economy is not necessarily finance, nor is it currency per se. It is this wider array of things that bring all those factors together. So therefore, if we have fundamentals of the Dominican economy, they should be used to broaden Dominica's economy. In a nutshell, the economy would be an interplay of different attributes: consumption, production, mainly. We can talk about surplus and investments a bit later on, but that in a nutshell is what the economy is about. There is an interdependence of activities around production and consumption. A healthy economy, therefore, is one where there is wide inclusion, where there is participation with benefits within an operating unit. Dominica's economy is not the same as Americans. and vice versa, but they are connected. The interesting twist is to focus on what is uniquely Dominica, so that Dominica can have some leverage in the economic system, global economic system. The political economy, as I mentioned before, is the kind of ethos, the science which drives and unifies the interdependence of economy in the particular place. And we know politics is what we do with each other, when we do, how we do it, how we get things done, how we achieve our goals. So who we are? Dominicans, we are reliant, self-reliant. We're industrious, we are adventurous, we are initiators, we are inventors, we are thrivers. And if we find ourselves in a space where we are not what we just listed, we are not really living the best lives. There is need for some nurturing. There is need to find our niche in this wider global market space. But we need to understand. We have to understand the concepts. What is this global economy that we're speaking about? Again, we go back to the original definition. It's integrated, it's interwoven. It deals with trade, consumption, investment, production, with as little of tariff barrier as possible. And Dr. Fontaine would tell you that tariff is the engine of trade. And we hear all the debate about higher tariff rates on certain commodities coming into America and China. The economists will speak to that. But we're talking about a wonderful global concept called the global economy, and it is driven by free flow of stuff as much as possible with very minimal barrier. Dominica has to be able to have a play. What do we have in the economic space? Passports? Well, we'll get to that in a while as a mono crop, a mono system, a mono agency. I'm not knocking passports, but I'm saying that there should be the strength of our political milieu making up our economic thrust when we talk about competing in the global marketplace. Globalization is that which drives the global economy. And again, globalization is a careful matriculation of parties, electoral system, markets, labor, surplus, manufacturing, governing. The entire thing is covered under the globalization bracket, controlled by the more affluent nations in the world. Dominica is not seen as an affluent nation, but Dominica has a superpower. And that superpower, from my estimation, happens to be our land, our water, our scenery, our people, and the other attributes. Dominica is not a poor country. It is just poorly managed. So how do we now reconcile Dominica's political environment with its economic development prospects? Who is responsible to do it? And where do we start? The issue is we need Thompson et al. An all-inclusive, all-hands-on-deck, alternative Dominica-centric master plan to restore and realign the island's prospects of its economic growth with the political realities that we face. There is a particular uniqueness about us as a people, and we have to find the balance and do it. I think it was done. Well, let me not make reference to where things have been done. Let's focus on what we need to do, because we have the capacity to do it. And we need to start here and now. In fact, I think this economic conference, revival conference that I'm presenting at right now is a perfect starting point. I heard my friend Sam Raphael said so, hinted to that in his welcome address, a wonderful friend of mine. And again, I must toss my hat to you, Thompson, for finding the strength to be able to take this event to the Jungle Bay, because for people who understand the this is a tremendous feat. And I see you in a different light after this conference. So we are not going to go back. We may look back, but we advance. And in summation, my ideas would be, Let us determine what's unique about us, especially when it comes to Dominica's economic system. Let us connect that to what is at play in Dominica and where we need to go. Let us keep this sort of harmony of the economic systems and the other systems in Dominica, because the economy does not work on its own. It is connected with other systems, and there is a political attachment to that economy. Let us go back to the time when foreign investment was what drove our economy. You cannot rely on local currency, on local activities to create the kind of vibrancy in Dominica's economy. And Thompson will tell you, you need monies from outside to come into the local economy so that it gets vibrancy. We need to go back. I spoke of the mono-item economy. And right now, we understand that there's a mono-item that drives Dominica's economy. If we at least take one thing from what I have said so far, we know that a mono-item or monocrop will not work. And we have had monocrop economy in Dominica going back as far back as we can remember. Limes, bananas, copra. We never found a way to really harmonize all the different attributes. And that is what my presentation is asking us to do. To find the political muscle to bring all the ideas together. We need to give people a dignified role in developing Dominica's economy to foster growth. When we give handouts and we take care of people's needs, that does not do much for the economy. People are not dignified, and as such, the economy remains flattened and unattractive. People need opportunities. They need to work. Every Dominican who I know likes to work. And if there is work to be done, they will do it. As long as there is profit to be made, and investments can be made of those profits, people will increase their assets. Dominicans are thriving people, beautiful people like everybody else, who want to have wealth and who want to have a certain level of security. What is standing in the way? Us and sometimes our egos. We need this Dominica Alternative Alliance. I hate to say opposition, because opposition speaks to a sort of resilience. So if we say alternative, it talks about even those who do not consider themselves opposition as part of the alternative, as part of the alliance. Because if we don't fix what should have been fixed 10, 15 years ago in Dominica right now, I'm not too sure what kind of economy we'll be speaking about, let's say, a year, 2, or let's say a political cycle from now. I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. I just want to convert our appetite to have us think broader, not just within the economic space, but to try to connect. And as I go back to the first slide, to my topic, to remind you of my topic and my charge of duty today, to reconcile our political environment with the economic development prospects. And I think I have made that point. And I'm looking forward to a continuation of discussion on this topic and others, because there should be others that'll follow. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with the plenary session, but I'm standing by to contribute or to answer whatever questions which may come out of my presentation. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to working with because I believe we can, and we certainly will, take Dominica and remove that wash, the stumbling block that stands in the way of our people's striving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Given his last comment, you remember what Father John Lewis said yesterday? Caesar cannot be God. You remember? Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Alex. But in the interest of time, what we're going to do, we're going to have to skip the breakout session for now. And we're going to continue to go into the tourism. And when we do the breakout session, we will do both tourism and agriculture. All right, because time is really badly short on time. Okay, the next presenter, is he here in person, Thompson?
Yes.
Right. That's all right, good. So we have with us Mr. Edward Henderson, right here with us. All right. And he'll be speaking on opportunities and challenges in developing a Dominica tourism We can't get places, as all of the presenters have been saying. There's an important tie to what Alex is saying here, but we just cannot stop at the moment. So we're going to continue, and then the discussions will flow at the right time. So Alex, as you said, hang by. If you have to go and come back, please do, but hang on there. So Anderson, welcome.
I'm not going to put it. Good morning. I am not a podium person. Just judging by what I've heard so far, half of my work has been done. And it tells you that tourism, agriculture, just name it, they are all one and the same in different forms. And so what I'm going to do is cut out some of what I have to say, like even the description, definitions, etc., etc. And I'm going to focus on the two parts of my topic. So just bear with me as I look through the presentation. And the first one is opportunities for tourism development, product development. It just struck me just about 10 minutes ago. I have a case study right where we're sitting. Right here. We have the tendency, folks, to go way out of our area looking for what we did not put. So in local parlance, we want to be a St. Lucia. We want to be a Barbados. We want to be a this and we want to be a that. I want to just put out one little question here. What is the difference in taking a bath on a white sand beach or in an area of a white sand beach and taking a bath on a volcanic area like Soufrière? Regardless of the color of the beach, the water tastes the same. But sometimes in our mind, if we're not in a Barbados white sand beach, we're not bathing. What on earth is wrong with where we're sitting? Would somebody tell what is wrong with where we are now? My only problem with where we're sitting now is the air con. We have sea breeze. We have mountain breeze intersecting all around us. Yet we have air con on. Is Mr. Raphael there? Tell him I put up X by that. So when we talk about opportunities in tourism, we have all what we need here. I was reading an extract from, what was it, some Wikipedia or some the different sources. Some of those folks look for the smallest issue you have and they write a whole 10-page report to make you look foolish. And we fall for that. Let me give you an example. While I was in the tourism ministry, somebody died, somebody driving, this was from St. Lucia. There was a big story about the dangers of T2 Gorge. And that was viral. Nobody answered that report. I read what it was saying, I took it, and I made a response to it. I never saw it again. When you go to Titu Gorge, the people that sell the little things, the little artifacts and so on, they tell you, don't go up if you don't know what you're doing. They offer you a float, a vest, and they tell you, put it on before you. Some fellas say, oh, I can swim. We have just set up a document that says what to do in case of an emergency. If somebody dies, etc. Then I got a call saying that 2 fellas are stranded in Titu Gorge because it had rained. Now, you know Titu Gorge, most of you. It might rain at 6 o'clock and end at 8. But the river not high yet. 3 hours later, all the precipitation comes down to the waterfall in the Titu Gorge. So those guys came there, the sun bright and so on. They told them, don't go up, it was raining all morning. They said, but with bright sunshine. They still went without floats. And then 2-3 hours later, they got stuck behind the waterfall because that thing is raging and they were below the waterfall at the time because it was still calm before they went there. And lo and behold, the fire people had to go and risk their life to get them out of there. They were warned. So there is nothing wrong with our sites and attractions. What we need to do in Dominica is to use best practice. Costa Rica has best practice. They have many, many countries that have done it, failed, done it again, and perfected it later. If we have the same product, why are we going to start from scratch to reach where we want to reach? Just get the best practice. It is documented everywhere. Employ it in our the opportunities are there. Craft. The person may front, everybody selling. It's a fast. You have 10 different, what do you call it, tents.
20.
Everybody's selling the same. Now, where do you think that came from? St. Martin, New York, this, what? No, but hear the thing about that. The same places that those things came from, don't you think that's where the tourists came from? The boats pass the same way. We already saw that in Trinidad, we already saw that in Barbados, we already saw that in Martinique, we already saw that in St. Lucia. What? Do you have anything else? No, that's an opportunity you miss. Because there are certain things we have in Dominica the tourists would love to take home. For example, people go to the Barana Ote in the Calinago territory. There is a little thing they call the wife arrest or whatever. I don't know if my partner has tried it. When you put the wife's finger in that, you just keep going. Wife, he must follow you. That is a hit. Why are you promoting that? That is culture. You understand what I'm saying? We have some of the best hikes in the world. But guess what? Some of them are dangerous. You're going to break your leg, trip and so on. People are not worried about this. It's climbing and going down. The risks are what people are afraid of. The risks. There was a case in Trafalgar Falls once. Very nice site. maybe I think it's the number one after Emerald Pool, or the one before Emerald Pool. The two of them always fighting for first and second. It just happened that day we were going up from the office, we went there and going to see what is happening and so on. There was an 84-year-old woman, 84. She had heard so much about Trafalgar Falls. She said, I have to go and see. Don't go and bring pictures, I want to see. She had two of her relatives with her. Now there is a kind of Z corner in one of the parts of the train, like an SZ kind of thing. And when the lady reached there, she couldn't make a step further. Not one, she was burnt out. We had to practically carry her back. So she lost an opportunity to see something she was dying to see. Just because the access was not what she needed to have to reach the phone. And one of the things I tried to say was, look, let us make a track where you're going to have something like a little cat with a cable. Pull her up, she's sitting, motor pulling that up. She sit this side, take a picture in the background, a selfie and so on. And you think she pays $2 more, you make some money. Never have. Simple. I went to Scotland, in Ireland. No, Scotland. There's a slate mine. This thing is 600 feet below the level of the surface. 600 feet. That cold like ice down. You know what they did? They took a cat from a train or something like that, and they put some seats in it. And you just sit down 6 at a time. They pull you down 600 feet, you do a little tour, they pull you back 600 feet. You pay to do that. Simple, nothing, not any fancy seats or anything like that. That could be done in Trafalgar Falls. People pay more money because they want to go to the gym. What about the physically impaired? That's what they call it? Yes. Physically challenged. They want to go places too. But they cannot go because access is a problem. Dr. Lloyd talked about different things that people need. These are opportunities in tourism. We need training. People think you can just get up one day and you're a tour guide. Well, you give it the tourist history that are ours. And because they don't know, these tourists don't know, so they don't accept it. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to have this standards. We have to have this standard. Because a banana is not just a banana. You know there are some people that can take a banana and make you eat it and they don't even know that you're eating a banana. By the description. And let me just say, unless we love tourism as individuals, I hope I'm saying that right now. If we don't love tourism as individuals, it's not going to work. You have to love what you do. It is not about, you will make money, you know. You will make money, but do the thing right. Sure. I remember Mr. Nice. He used to be in Lion Park side. Everybody asking him, why don't you sell the grapefruit? He said, but why should I sell it if I'm making more money when I give it? The man will slice one grapefruit on origin to 4 packs. A tourist will taste the grapefruit and give him $5 US. One grapefruit not even $50. Why are you making $5 US per taste? That's an opportunity. Sometimes we're so anxious to make the big money that we're losing the big money. Because money is not a thing to be chased to. Money is something you get if you love what you do. You can't follow me. I cannot stand up. I cannot stand. If you have to look at Dominica is one of the most blessed countries on earth. Amen. I have a feeling the Garden of Eden was shifted here. I saw a spectacle once in Wharton Wave. I did all these cruise and road show and all that. Although the main attraction that brings people to Wharton Wave is the hot water. There was a guy right by the next to Spruce, just a little above. I can't remember his name. Yeah, just above Spruce. Tears, I think. Tears came up with a bright idea. You know that bird they call that bird banana crate. What we call it, Sikie. Now, if you have a secret, don't let Sikie know. Because they're telling all the world a secret. Tears put some sugar water in a container and he hung it from a mango tree. I have never seen the same kind of bird in one spot like that. And do you know that when people come from the hot water, they would spend minutes on minutes just filming the birds. Because it was a beautiful sight to see so many birds just on that thing, just back and forth, And the man created that opportunity. Now, what some people do, if I come up with something like that, but everywhere around the place has a thing of sugar water. And Siki don't know where to go now. Copycat kind of thing. We cannot copy. It will fail. So we need to, whenever you want to get into something, sit down and think of what you need to do to make it. If you like it, get into it. If you don't like it, leave it alone. Don't just jump into things. Because you don't know how the other person got to like it. So you're trying to like it more than him, but it's not part of you. You didn't come up with it. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to establish for ourselves in Dominica, what are the things we have that make sense? Add value to them. Because we have all the mountains, we have everything. There are some countries that wish they had wildlife, but they have none. Some countries don't have a river. Not one. Barbados has no river. We talk about 365. We haven't got that many now, but we still have rivers. We have that black sand beach there is just as nice. Okay? Don't let the color fool you. We have beautiful people. I mean, if you feel you're not beautiful, that's your business. We have some beautiful people in Dominica. We have nice people. We have a few that messing it up. Generally, Dominicans are very nice people. That is a selling point. That is a selling point. A nice hello and a nice bye-bye can make a difference. Okay? And so, there are some people that don't understand human relations. They just do not know how to attract a conversation. A few words can make you sell a lot. A few words can make you sell a lot of. Okay? If you take the example of the Chinese, when you get, there was a story or a joke about a lady that went to a Chinese store in Dominica. And one of the workers, she went to one of the workers, and she said, I would like that container then. The worker said, no, that is for displaying our products. So she went to the manager now, the Chinese guy. She said, I want that. The fellow just took out everything from that and said, look at anytime I have, I better be careful when I say. If I have anything on me and you want it more than me, I will take it out back. Thank you very much. There is nothing I have that I like so much that I'll not sell it to you. Take it. Yeah. You can always get another one. Take it. So there is no saying I'm presenting it that way. I know after them big snack people like to this guy. Alright? But seriously, folks, Dominica has all that it needs. But let them not copy and copy and copy. For them, a person start that song. Just to give you a final example. There was a lady in Maho who started to fry some fish and bakes close to the road by her home. There were two neighbors behind her. They had to pass in her yard to go to the road. They started frying the same bakes and fish. And they messed up the first one. Let them not do that because it is not going to help tourism. There must be something we can do that somebody else hasn't got. Because we need diversity. It was said twice or so this morning. We have to diversify. When we add up everything, then we're good to go. Okay? And in terms of challenges, folks, our biggest issue is the natural disasters, mashing up our sites, mashing up our buildings, mashing up our roads, and so on and so forth. We have to keep rebuilding every year. So we have to get resilient and make something that can last more than a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line. Okay? I thank you for your time.
All right. You know who you reminded me of? I don't know if it's a who, but you know when Jesus spoke and he taught, right?
Yeah.
He used a lot of parables. And through the parables you could understand what he was saying. So I enjoyed this presentation and all this example. But we have a little shift in the program, and that's a good thing because it's going to help us to get back on track. So we're going to go launch in about 15 minutes, so about 1:20, right? And then Dr. Pascal will present at 3:30. At 3:50, sorry. That is when we will start a session where we bring everything together. So we will not bring everything together today, we'll do it tomorrow instead. And then the breakout session we were going to have this afternoon, we're going to do not one big breakout sessions, but we're going to do breakout sessions smaller breakout sessions. So one on the tourism, one on the agriculture, one on the agriculture, one on the tourism, and so on. So we'll do it like that in order to give everybody a voice. And in that way we can catch up, because I know the guys in presenting for manufacturing, they are all geared up and ready to go. So we will catch some time in that way. So it's really a good thing. So what we're going to do now is allow one or two questions. He has a question for you, so I'm going to allow him to ask that question. Okay.
Yes, good afternoon. Mr. Henderson, great presentation. But my question is really, I've been doing a little thing in tourism sector, you know, and the botanical gardens. I am seeing a lot of potential in the botanical gardens. But for example, whenever I would do a tour, let us say some of my people come from wherever, and I would do a tour with them, and I would take them through the gardens. They would tell me, but there's nothing much in the garden to see. First of all, you have the parrots in an area you can hardly see from behind the fence. Right? You stand up there and I have to be trying to squeeze my eyes to show them a parrot because of whatever netting or whatever fencing wire we use. Then you go across to a bus that the tree fell on the bus. Yeah, and maybe one or two trees, and that's about it really in the gardens. But I mean, I'm seeing potential. For example, whenever the cruise ship comes in, right? Why can't we have display of cultural dances somewhere in the gardens, maybe somewhere, right? Where the people can sit or maybe stand and just enjoy the different cultural activities because there is a chance that we can showcase this kind of culture or culture. What is your take on that, Mr. Anderson? Or what do you think about the gardens and the kind of potential that you are seeing? Thank you.
Well, the gardens is a kind of contentious place right now. I mean, there have been numerous attempts to change the use of the gardens. Okay? Numerous attempts. Certain things I can't mention right now, but the gardens is one of the best locations in Roseau. But for some reason, I don't know what reason, for some reason, it has not been used to its full potential. Yes, we have the propagation place, etc., etc. We have the cricket, right. Then we have the football. And what I noticed, remember the Creole in the Park? Right. Creole in the Park gave us an idea of the magnitude of the things you can do in the garden.
That's right.
They also had recently the Christmas village.
Right.
Somehow we need to sit down, relook at the gardens, and see how we can make it what it's supposed to be. A combination of recreation and a representation of Dominica in terms of flora and fauna, whatever. And even the propagation thing can be a tourist attraction. But what we have to be careful about is not to make it a business thing and remove the part where people can access for their own personal recreation and relaxation. If you take out the human part from it, where we can go and enjoy our green space, then we're making a mistake. Almost every tourist that comes to Dominica, whether physically challenged or not, goes to the gardens. Now, Remember, I gave the example of Trafalgar Falls and the old folk. The Chinese and this other kind of people that think 20, 50 years in advance would take something like that and put miniature falls, actual water running down, resembling Trafalgar Falls and so for those people that cannot go. You're not destroying Trafalgar Falls by doing that. So there are certain times you have to add the human touch to a natural thing for more access. And you can make money from both. Because if I want to go to Trafalgar Falls, you can put all the miniature ones there. I will go to one I want. It has to be a question of choice by the people using the facility. Okay, so for some reason it hasn't happened, but I think it should.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to.
Can I bring it from Blake announcement?
All right, we also have Dr. Dave Lloyd still with us, and is Alex still there as well? Okay, just Dave. So if anybody has a question, especially for Dave, you can also ask that. But let's have that question, and then we have Soso. I think Soso has a question to Dave. Okay, Dave, stand up.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Nazi Barawi. I would like to ask Mr. Henderson one question. Mr. Henderson, you talk about black sand beach and white sand beach. Where I'm from, Michelle, and I know all about Champagne Beach. But before we had a lot of sand, and we used to take sand from Paris, we bring it up to Champagne, and we have a beach, but no Champagne. So developed that we only have what I and two other ladies and Donnie buy plants from Layu, plant it in Champagne to make Champagne what it is. First, number one, we're talking about tourists. A lot of people think tourists is something cheap. We have village tourists. We have eco-tourism and we have all different things. We have tourists that come in Dominica for days, and we, people that live in our village and go to other places, we have tourists too. And that is one thing that you all have mentioned. Yes, another thing I want to say is, it's another thing in Dominica that a lot of us lose money, especially business people, because of what? They put a lot of laws in place and it's not implemented. Number one, the crabs. Number two, the frogs. And in the same line, we're talking about our diversification. The government of Dominica of this day brought in people and destroy our countries, saying that it's a black token. Yeah, we could kill the black token. And now we're asking people now to plant citrus. We are taking years to make money. What about our Moranda? Writing permission, we have a factory doing that. What about pumpkin? What about all these things we need to save and sell and everybody does? We have to make a faster money for the farmers. And now we're asking crops that we want to do, that we have to plant back, that will take years to make money. And then we could make future, we could make straight away from straight, we could make a faster money. So that is the amount I would answer the question. Yes, you talk about certain things that people could make and about tourists and going by the front and bring different dancers. All those things they are being away from there, that those things that should come up, so it will be better. And on the front, it's not looking suitable for people, for tourists punishing to come and look. We're looking for natural things. We're looking for natural things. We're looking for people to come down here to carry people And we just talking about tourism, about this and that. And we have everything we talking about the breakfast. Oh, the Caribbean is right in our hand and we throw it away. So that is why I'm here today, because I know I have to talk about that. So what I want to say again, I want to tell you that Mr. Henderson, I know Dominica on the sinking sand. We have to start to talk to our children about what is going to happen in the future. Because we're talking about tourism, we're talking about doing everything, but we're not talking about how we use that destroying. In properly established, we are not at all good. And we're done. And that's when we'll talk to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. But remember earlier when I was saying there are experts in here who have suggestions to improve our purpose on the. So she has begun the process. I don't think there's any need for him to answer, but you have made some great suggestions that we have on the table. And when we go to the breakout sessions, we can soak in some of those kinds of questions even more. So thank you very much, Melvin. You are a veteran in the area. Thank you very much. Okay, so go ahead.
Thanks, shortly. Let me just say good afternoon to everyone. So far, I'm very impressed with all of the presentations, but what I'm going to say, I think Mr. Emmanuel and Dr. David could react to it. I wanted to make the example that Errol made the point about, sustaining the various markets with respect to being consistent with the quantity and not just the quality. But one will get the impression that if you operate in a certain amount of land, certain acreage, that you're required to expand the acreage to get more production. That's not really the case. Let's say we have that room. Once you can improve your output, your productivity, your yield per acre, you will get more, not necessarily having 2 rooms of that size. So we lack the efficiency of farmers. Farmers will not actually put enough effort to get the necessary return. So that could be a shortcoming in terms of generating revenues and so on. Oftentimes now we will sit in catchments and we would see each farmer has a share. Sometimes it is not really, based on the small size and the small area of the catchment. We could talk about integrating and having maybe a big shed to serve the necessary catchment, so to be more durable. So instead of making a shed that is easily swept by weathering, then we could have infrastructure of a more durable nature to common collectively together, put our resources together, and have a better organized shed that we can do storage, not just of food, but their farm implements and probably their equipment and so on. And so I want to say too, while we talking about integrating the various sectors, there's something that happens in Dominica annually. Notwithstanding we're not producing enough for export, and we're not sustaining the export market, but at a period in our agricultural development, we do have what we call a glut in certain crops. And I think we must start to revisit what we call the community food banks. And what I mean by the community food bank is that when you have excess, the government should take it, it will still have a policy where they buy the excess and then use the excess to feed the various institutions, probably like the crop home and so, because like anything else, sometimes it just go to waste, and because we do not have enough animal husbandry systems happening, then we cannot really feed the animals to have that kind of cycle. So I just wanted Dr. Lloyd and Mr. Emmanuel probably comment on these big areas that I've observed. Thank you.
Okay, since you're online, Dr. Lloyd, you have to comment strictly. Again, what he suggested is maybe in the same way as what Melvin was saying. He's added some good things on the table, which are excellent. But Doctor, since we've had you waiting online, do you want to make a quick comment on what I should have said, Mr. Coffey? Dave, are you here? Can you hear me? Okay, in that case, Errol, do you want to make a quick comment? And then, because we can put this on the table, but we should make a quick comment. Do that, yeah.
Okay, he's here now.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah, can you please repeat the question?
All right, it's quite a question. tell you what we'll do. Let's forego your response for now, because what I was saying earlier on, what he really suggested is something great that could go on the table. Right? So asking him to repeat will take a lot. So let's just let Errol say something on it, and then we can. Okay, so just Hammer. Okay, Errol, go ahead.
Yes, yield per side of land is critical. Your level of efficiency will determine whether a farmer does better than you or not. For example, there are people who follow only good practices. I remember we used to look at 10 tons as a benchmark per acre for farming for bananas, and the national average is 4 something, where you have some farmers who were doing 12, 13, 14, 15 tons per acre. So the farmer who's doing 15 tons is making almost 3-4 times the returns compared to the other farmer who's doing 4.5, 4 tons per acre. So yes, efficiency, yield, productivity is really, because in bananas you can have two approaches. You can have the approach where, because banana calls for expansive size of land, some people think, well, they can make 100 boxes on 10 acres and they're happy making 100 boxes. Whereas another person can have 3 acres and be very efficient with the same 100 boxes. So they are in a much better position because of their level of efficiency based on the yield per acre. So yes, as far as glut, again, is because there is no system that informs the market, or there is no data capture to say what is in the ground for any particular crop. I recall there was a time I had a plan where I was planting my dashing every month, 2,500 plants. And I would never be out of dashing. So when dashing was scarce at the time, I sold to a huckster. He paid me $1. As it started getting scarce, the next week he gave me $1.50. And then the next time I sold to him, without negotiating, because it was so scarce, he just gave me $1.75 a pound. So the thing is, you can capture the high price and the low price, but your planting schedule have to be consistent, so you always have supplies. And I don't know where hucksters got my number. But the question of some way of accepting the glut so that you can use it for other government institutions is something that is worthy of pursuing. In Grenada, when they just started their marketing board, they buy produce from farmers to sell. A small operation, small area, and they need $1 million in sales just in that small thing. We need to examine the whole question of what marketing board. We used to have a marketing board in Dominica before. Growing up, I used to go down that area and you get anything you want to buy. Okay? So all these things are things we have to look at, whether these things can work for us, how we can work for us, and what we do, what systems we put in place to make sure that they can deliver the desired intent. Because you can intend for an output, but you have to ensure that you have a roadmap to deliver that output.
Thanks, everyone. Now, I think I heard everyone say earlier, nothing in what we are saying today suggests that development is easy. It's not easy, but it is possible. But if you look from my work in the region in the Caribbean, and if you listen carefully to what we have been saying here today, and we will continue to hear during the session later on manufacturing, tomorrow's sessions as well, you will look through and you will begin to come up, especially in the case of Dominica, with a couple, I'm saying there are a couple because not many, maybe 4 or 5. If you really drill down to what is preventing us from going forward, you'll come up with about 3, 4, or 5 critical things that we must address. So there are lots of little things you mentioned here, big things too, but when you really think of it. So let's go to what Errol said and what Dave said. I'm not going to repeat it, but he said some great stuff. Why did we lose the market in Antigua? Why did we, well, how can St. Vincent or whoever come, I think you raise an example, right? What's up with that? Now, if you really come down to it, you'll realize there are a number of things. One of the issues is policies. We don't have the right policies, and there are a number of things that contribute to policies. But clearly, it's not just that in our case, because we do have people who understand. All the presenters showed that we have people who understand what it takes, right? Good. Then there's the issue of resources. There's the human resources, and there are the financial resources. To come up with right policy, you need the right kind of expertise and people. Now, don't tell me the Dominicans everywhere here, and there's a demonstration of our presenters. We do have people who understand. There are people who have experience in regional agencies, who some of them are retired, some of them are still working. We do have people, right? So we have a human resource challenge, but not that the people are not there. We train our people, we send them to learn overseas, but we're not accessing them. We are not using them. Of course, we have financial challenges. That's one of the things you see in terms of human resource limitations. We had the CBI, we have squandered it. But Thompson mentioned yesterday, what are some of the other sources? Diaspora was not well organized. And there are other ways in which we're going to think for. So if you really think for a lot of this stuff, you begin to realize there's some critical things that we have to ensure are in place if we want some of these other things we're talking about, which we know well, which we know what should be done to be addressed.
Okay, Mr. Vita?
Yeah.
Mr. Vita, I have a question. I'm at the back. This question is for the benefit of viewers online. Two agriculture-related questions which came after Mr. Aaron's presentation. So, one question there. There are a number of small peasant farmers who grow seasonal crops on the island. What action can they take to better utilize these resources towards sustainable agriculture in the medium to long term to improve export potential? Another question, the agricultural farmers in Dominica are aging right now. A number of Haitian laborers have left the island in recent times, and given the constrained climatic conditions, what recommendations and action plans should be undertaken to increase the export earning in the agricultural sector?
All right. So these two questions we will leave for the breakout sessions when we will do it there. But it comes on to the next thing I was going to say. Aaron mentioned it, Dave mentioned it. The other great limitation is in our planning and our implementation systems and our institutions. We have good examples, Aaron raised them. The banana industry is a perfect example of how proper institutions lead to success in agriculture and in other areas as well. And that has been one of the major shortcomings. We have to strengthen our planning. There's something Aaron said that caught my attention. And I said earlier on, development is not easy. So you might be thinking something would work, and then you try it, and it doesn't work. What do? Throw up your hands? But in proper planning systems, you have an adequate monitoring and implementation system. So when something doesn't work, you ask why. And when you figure out why, you put in measures to correct those. We haven't had those, at least in the last 20 years, those kinds of proper planning systems. All of these things are interrelated. But one of the things that screams out loud, and that is what Alex was talking about, was what's the connection between politics and in the economy? And that is one of the greatest challenges Dominica has faced. Other countries face it too, but we have a particularly bad case of it, and that is governance. And there are two elements of governance. There is technical governance. We have to put the right technical governance mechanisms, auditing and accounting and so on in place. All of that is necessary. But the other element of it is political governance. And if you really drill down to what we have been talking about, and you really ask yourself, if we know all these things, why aren't they being done? You will come up with mostly one big thing: bad political governance. So, as we go through, I want you to think through what is really troubling us from going through. We have the people, we can pull them together. We can organize the diaspora. We can do quite a bit of this, but a lot of it comes down to bad bad political governance. I just wanted to end this session on this note. We'll take the question, but we'll just put it on the table. But because we're going to break for lunch, and we're going to deal with some of these questions during the breakout session. We'll organize it in such a way that those things can come in. Go ahead, Baris.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Henderson. I know that Dominica has been involved in community tourism, and they have been trying to put a whole thrust on community tourism. I wanted to ask if you become the Minister of Tourism, when you become the Minister of Tourism, my brothers, what would be your vision for community tourism? Because I've been involved in community tourism, but they have not taken traction. I see now places like St. Lucia, they are really making good strides in community tourism. And I think I'm going to ask you, I know you have been involved in it also, so what would be your vision for pushing community tourism forward so that the communities can enjoy an economic activity?
Okay, let me just answer this quickly, but that's a great question.
I will answer that later, but I didn't know you were not my friend.
Okay, great. So we have quite a bit of ministers. Minister of Tourism, Minister of Agriculture. But let's take a break right now. Just quickly, we're not going to answer it. Just put it on the table and then we're going to break. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Let's follow up. I'm Marian Pascal and I operate Mao's Stores, a small tourism niche. He was talking about community tourism, which is very good. But I'm adding a little something to it to hinge on community tourism, a project which I started last year all by myself. Student tourism. All the other islands have white sand. Most of the other islands have white sand beaches. So the biggest market goes to places like Barbados, Anguilla, Antigua, St. Martin, and white sand beaches. But we have a unique niche in that we have nature. We also have a different language, which is a different Creole. Okay? We are English speaking. There is a niche in France right now where students, exchange students, go to English countries to get English speaking experience. And one of the countries they are tapping into because of our unique situation between Martinique and Guadeloupe is Dominica. So I think we should tap into that resource as well. See our close proximity to the French, that the students from English. Last year, I had one student. The news has gone out in a particular section in France, where this year, I'm getting another student learning to speak English, at the same time integrating shopping in our community, into the culture and everything, and the word has already begun to spread. So this is part of community tourism, where in every other village you have a student who will integrate with us, use our shops, use our grocery stores, our supermarkets, and then you will find that it grows. We are unique in that. I think we should start thinking that way.
Thank you. Great suggestion. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's take a break right now. We have a lot to talk about in the breakout sessions, as you can see. So let's take a break. Lunch is where we had dinner last night, just go out there and the restaurant. It's around 45 minutes. Let's be back here for 2:50. All right? 2:50, let's be back.
Okay, viewers, once again, we are live at Sofia for the Dominica Economic Revival Summit. You have heard presentations from agriculture and tourism so far, as well as marketing. And when we come back, you will be hearing some more presentations. We thank you for joining, and we also thank you for spreading the word. As we say, knowledge is power. So we will be right back as we take a break for lunch. Goodbye, everyone.
Sure. Just let me know.